Hello, my creative friends. Today I have a special request card from my father-in-law. I'm going to show you how to make the butterflies that I used in this card that I sent him after he had knee surgery, and he sent me a letter saying, how did you do that? So I'm going to show you how to do it, and there's actually two different ways, and without touching and feeling his card I'm not sure which one I did, so I'm going to show both ways. The first thing you're going to need is the Papillon Potpourri stamp set, and I'm going to use this image here, the big butterfly. And this is the easiest of the three. You use black stazon, you just ink up your butterfly and stamp it. Stazon ink can stain your rubber. That won't affect how your rubber image stamps, but if you don't like it looking dirty, here are some things you can do. When you're done using it, you just stamp off, get as much of the excess ink off on a scrap paper as you can. And then Stampin' Up! Makes the stazon cleaner, and it works really, really well. In fact, I've been able to get stains off of stamps that have set for quite a while. It's got a little bit of texture to the knob. It kind of reminds me of a bingo paint dauber. Rub it across your stamp, and then take your Stampin' Scrub. You're just going to rub it off, and if it's not clean enough for you, you can always go back again and add a little bit more. Although I think that was pretty good. And just rub it off again, and that gets most of it off. And then you want to dry it on the dry side. Normal. This is the normal Stampin' cleaner. This is another question from my mother-in-law. So this is Stampin' Mist. With this, you just spray the scrub pad, rub it in, and then you dry it on the dry side. So one side stays wet, one side stays dry. It's super clean, super easy. The other way, you're going to use the same stamp set, but this time I'm going to emboss it. So before I emboss, I just take my embossing buddy to make sure I don't have any static, and rub that on the paper. Then I'm going to take my Versamark ink, and I'm going to ink up the stamp. I'm taking my black embossing powder and I'm just putting it right over the butterflies that I Versamarked on there, and you'll see as I flick it off, there it is. And most of the embossing powder just came right off. I'm going to try flicking it one more time. Now, if this was going directly on my card, I would actually take a paintbrush or my finger. So I'm going to do my finger right here and get it off. But for this technique we're going to use, it doesn't even matter if you have it on there, because we're going to actually end up punching out these butterflies. So here's my stazon, here's my black embossing powder. I've got my silicone mat here. It just kind of absorbs the heat and keeps the paper underneath from wrinkling. And I'm going to emboss with my heat tool. You just hook it on. You can see the difference between the two different types. This is the stazon. It's a little bit lighter and the lines tend to be finer on this one. This is a little bit bolder, and I know you can't feel it in person, but if you feel it in person, you can feel how it raised a little bit. And I'm pretty sure that this is the method I used on Papa Marty's card, but I can't swear to it. So now that you have your butterflies, and by the way, this would work with any color embossing powder you wanted to use. My next step is to choose the color. So I'm going to do one in some of the colors that I used for his, yellow and orange, and the other I think I'll do purples or pinks. So let's just start with the yellow. And what you want to do is start with the lightest color first. So I've got So Saffron here, your sponge dauber and your So Saffron ink, or whatever you choose as your lightest color. And I just started in the middle. And I'm going to do one of each so that you can see the two different. You're going to take your next color, and this one is more mustard. And this just adds that bit of yellow or the orange. As you can see, I left the center with just a little bit of yellow. And that's really all there is to it. This can be, you can add as many colors as you want, but the more colors you add, it can muddy it up. So I'm going to try one more because I remember using Summer Star Fruit. And I'm just going to add a little bit of Summer Star Fruit. Okay, so for this butterfly, what I used was So Saffron all over. Then more mustard on the outside edges, and then I came back in with a little bit of Summer Star Fruit and just kind of blended the two. So that's kind of my monarch butterfly. I'm going to try a purple butterfly with just a little bit of pink in the middle. So we'll see. We'll see. Here we go. It's a brand new sponge dauber. I just did a little bit of pink in there. This is Pink Pirouette. So same thing. Lightest color, pounced all over. I used Perfect Plum, and what I meant to use was Wisteria Wonder. I was going for a little bit lighter look. So I just came back in with a little bit more Pink Pirouette and filled in the gaps with that, lightened it just a touch, but I think it's still pretty. So there's your two butterflies. Papa, that's how you color them. Now to get them out and get them the perfect shape, you use the Perfect Punch. So I'm using this butterfly punch. And if you flip it upside down, well, first let me show you this. Okay, it comes like this, flat. You push the little bar and it pops open. And then when you push on it, you'll get your punch. I like to punch mine upside down so I can see where I'm punching. I just line up the butterfly in there and punch it out. And punch it out. Now, if you get to this side and you're like, oh no, it's the wrong direction, or I can't reach it, easy fix. Take your scissors and just cut up there so that you have room to slip your punch in. And we'll punch that one out. And this one out. That's how easy it is. You stamp your image, you use a sponge or a sponge dauber to add color to it, and punch it out. To add it to his card, I just folded it in half, and you can either put a mini glue dot on the back, or a dimensional. If you want to pop it up, I would cut the dimensional a little bit smaller, and then it will just pop on your card. So I'm going to play with these, and I'll come back with my finished project. Hi ladies, I thought I was done filming, and I went back and I'm making some more butterflies for a future card. This has Pink Pirouette and Wisteria Wonder, and while I was doing it, I remembered that I had used Calypso Coral on Papa Marty's card. And what I did was I just took a little tiny bit of the Calypso Coral. You can even kind of tap off, and then just do the very edges. There's just a little bit all the way around, and it adds a touch of a peachy orange color, and just is a nice little finishing touch. Every butterfly I make, it turns out just a little bit differently, and I think that's part of the beauty of working with anything that has to do with nature. So I really do encourage you, give this a try some different color combinations, and let me know what you come up with. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you find some time today to get a little creative. Bye!